I live? Am I live on YouTube? Hey YouTube, how's everybody doing? It's your girl, Sunny D, popping through because I never go live on YouTube. And I'm also making a salad. So let me give y'all a minute. I don't know how it works over here. I don't know how long it takes YouTube to get the word out that she's live. So I was supposed to take the seeds out first. Did not take the seeds out. Just over here, just cutting and slicing and dicing. That's because y'all made me nervous because I never go live over here. So I'm actually preparing a salad and just testing out this format. Hey, how you doing out there? Let me know who's out there with me. My name is Sharon, and I am a 53-year-old woman who lives in the city of Detroit. I suppose you can call me a Gen Xer. And I'm really big on self-care and all the things that have to do with love and positivity and light. Oh, y'all see that raggedy situation I got? That's because my blinds fell and I had to put something in the window to stop some of that sunlight. And I forgot these videos just capture everything. You can't have nothing when you come on social media. And so I'm just trying to see if it works. I know I'm live. I was trying to see if I was live, but somebody popped on and then they popped off. I guess they like, girl, ain't nobody playing with you. And plus, I know on YouTube, everybody's used to viral topics and all that stuff. But again, I'm just dicing up the ingredients to make myself a salad. Okay. So y'all already know why this looks a mess over here near the window. I don't think I need this light. Let's close that. Try to block out some of that light. Whew, if this is not the universe telling me it's time to go and replace those blinds, I don't know what is. So, anyways, a little bit more about me. So I'm a special education teacher. I've been teaching for like 23 years. I'm also a life coach. I just recently pivoted from coaching women over 50 to coaching children. Now, I know that's a big jump, isn't it? The reason why I did that is because how long have I been a teacher? I started teaching in 2002. It's 2024, 22 years. In my 22 years of being an educator, I picked up some things, y'all. I got some skills. I have a particular set of skills. And those skills have allowed me to become the expert in the room as it relates on how to close the achievement gaps and all that stuff with kids. How to connect with them, how to reach them, how to help them be successful, teaching them skills that can take them through life. Like, you learn that stuff if you've been in a profession for 23 years, right? And I get it. There's all kind of teachers out here because everybody's not committed to the cause, baby. I guess that's what I'm on here to talk about. I did not come on here to talk about this. I'm like, how'd you get on the subject of the kids? I don't know. But since we own it, let's just kick it. So, being a teacher, I picked up this particular set of skills, y'all. And part of that, I'm going to share with a select group of children this summer in my home, sitting right over there at the dining room table, learning, enhancing our communication, our problem solving skills, our critical thinking skills, our summarizing skills, our reading skills with fluency, all the things. So that's what I'll be doing. And I'm in the city of Detroit. So if you're not in Detroit or the Metro Detroit area, unfortunately, at this time, you cannot participate. But if you are and you have a child, a niece, nephew, who is in the Metro Detroit area. By the way, I live on the east side and I happen to be a teacher at the school in the area that I live in. So very well known in the community. I, have my childhood home. So I've been in this area since 1976. Although I haven't lived in this house the whole time. When my mom, right before my mother passed away, she left me the house. So I'm back here. All right. So we got the jalapenos diced up. Let's wipe this off. Got the seeds out of it. Oh, one more piece. So this is what I was over here doing. Y'all was cutting it, knocking them seeds off, and then dicing it. So got my childhood home. Very well known in the community. Highly effective teacher for the past 23 years of educating students. I've been able to make impact, help students grow, achieve standards, become more confident learners, become more excited as it relates to reading and learning, being accountable. I've always been able to teach a group. And listen, my background is in special education, specifically working with children with autism. So all of people who make excuses, oh, he don't know no better. But that's why we have to teach them, right? And I said, people were like, well, you can't do that in general education. You can do that because you only got 7 kids. I was like, I don't know, because I ain't always just had 7 kids in front of me. And that's. So right after the pandemic, for one school year, that was the 2021-2022 school year, I took a 5th grade position in a 5th grade classroom, general education classroom, 30 plus kids in the classroom. And y'all know that pandemic was a hot mess. So kids had regressed. They weren't on grade level, all the things, right? So that means I was already challenged. And then that wasn't what I was accustomed to. I was accustomed to working with small groups of kids, right? And, they were assessed and all that stuff too. But it was really just to create goals and help them reach benchmarks and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm going into the general education classroom where they expect you to be a magician, baby. So I was like, okay, I could do this. I know I could do this because, all my life I've been natural at it as it relates to working with children. Okay. I don't know why it took me so long. Oh, I was talking about pivoting. Okay, I'm going to get to the point. I don't know why it took me so long to realize stick to what you know. Stick to what you know, ladies and gentlemen. If you have an anointing on your life in a certain area, don't start looking around or coveting what someone else is doing or able to do. That might not be your cup of tea. That might not work so smoothly for you. Do what comes natural for you, that's easy for you, that you're gifted to do. Because what they say in the word, your gifts will make room for you. So after seasons of trying to coach women, 45, 50 years old and over in the areas of self-care and personal development. And it was such a struggle and just to connect and communicate. And really what it was I wasn't the right person for them in that journey. I was right for a lot of people, but a lot of people I wasn't, because that's not what I was called to do. Somebody got to help the kids. Okay, so now we have tomatoes and jalapeno peppers diced up. And we also have a plate of seeds. I don't like the yucky stuff. So somebody got to be able to help the kids, right? And God had always been calling me to do this. It's always easy for me. I never understood why other teachers were struggling in this area. But then after monitoring and seeing how techy people can be in terms of how you relate to children, a lot of adults were going into the classroom trying to relate to these people like they were their friends. And, if they like me, then I'll have a good class. No, if they respect you, then they'll like you for real, and then you will have a good class. But that starts with self. So I thought I could teach them these things. I didn't realize how many people really did not care, didn't want to be coached, didn't want to learn new skills, was cool with going through life the way they were. And all that happened was 7 years forcing myself into that space. It just delayed my blessing. It didn't block it. And so went into that classroom, getting back to the story, went into that classroom 2021, 2022 school year. And baby, talk about the miracle worker. If y'all ever saw that movie, I'm telling my age, but the miracle worker, baby, worked some miracles with the help of God, because I couldn't have done that by myself. And I was able to, once we did the standardized testing with the kids, I was able to show progress of 1 to 2 years growth in 87% of my classroom. And I had 30 kids in there. So that goes to show you that it's either in you or on you, right? And it was in me. It was always in me because they said it couldn't be done. They said that, okay, yeah, you've been teaching for X amount of years. Yeah, your kids love you, but what you do is easy because you're a special ed teacher. You can never do what we do. Baby, why did God say, oh, did I hear a challenge? Did somebody call for a challenge? And I was like, yep, they calling you out, Lord. They think they calling me out, but they calling you out because I know and you know. So anyways, I took the challenge, 87% growth on test scores based on NWEA, which is a nationwide assessment tool that's used to assess the growth of students. 30 kids in front of me, 2 years behind. That pandemic did a number on them babies. 2 years behind. Okay, this is where I'm at with the salad, y'all. So now we got our red onions, our jalapenos, and our red tomatoes. Ooh, and that made my eyes burn. And then here's the junk that I'm getting rid of, except for that jalapeno piece is still some good. Dang. I hope I ain't touched my eye. Okay. Ooh, how you make your eye stop burning? Anywho, so I did that, and I had a very specific way. Working as a special educator for 23 years, it's just some skills that I learned. And thank God that I had the opportunity at that time to only have 7 to 8 kids in the classroom because I was able to really deep dive into what I had learned. And when I came back from the pandemic, I was like, wait a minute. These kids, most of the kids who general ed, smart children, but their test scores was showing not too much different than the kids who had an IEP. And that's an individualized educational plan. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know I got this burning onions in my eyes. Ooh, child. Somebody help me. Hey, from the UK. Hey, Sharon. Hey, twin. My name is Sharon, too. Did you know that? My name is Sharon as well. Sharon, help me. I'm cutting up onions, and all of a sudden, my eyes are burning while I'm on the live. We can't have that. Let me wash my hands really quick. I hope that helps. Woo, girl. So I might have to get off of here. Sharon, I might have to get off the live. I mean, when I say eyes are on fire, woo, I need some kitchen tips. Yep, you know that one? Ooh, child, this is terrible. Look at me. Mascara, eyes burning. That's the thing about going live. It captures everything. Okay, it stopped burning. Let me wash my hands again. So, ooh, honey. So bottom line is this. I took what I had been doing in the special education classroom for 23 years, and I put those skills to use in the gen ed classroom for that 2021-22 school year. When my students first started the school year off, most of them were like 2 to 3 years behind because of all the regression that took place when the world was on lockdown. From the US to the UK, right? The world was on lock. And it really hurt the kids. So I was like, well, let me do this a little differently. They was just still compiling curriculum and standards and benchmarks, and we need rigor, and we got to do this. And it was like, yeah, they weren't respecting the fact that the kids had missed a whole year and a half of instruction, which made absolutely no sense. So I was like, well, they're not going to like me here. And they didn't until they did, right? They didn't like me because when you teach at schools, a lot of people don't understand this and they blame teachers, but teachers are being mandated by the state, the government, to what you can teach, what you should be, how you should be teaching it, how long you should be teaching a particular subject, and so on and so forth. But I don't care nothing about that. I'm highly qualified. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology. I have a master's degree in teaching with a specialization in human developmental psychology. I'm also a coach. I own my home. I don't have a lot of overhead, so fire me. But I'm about to help these kids. And baby, did I ever. Did I ever? How did I do it? So small groups, strong classroom management, relationship building, because once they know you care, they'll do anything. And I hate making statements like they'll do anything you ask. That's creepy. I don't mean it in a creepy way. But once kids know you genuinely care and you're appropriately developing relationships with them, they want to work. They want to work hard. They want to make you proud of them, right? But before you get there, you got to instill that value in them because they don't know. I mean, they come, you don't know what is going on in the kids' household. Some kids literally thrive in chaos and they bring that mindset into your classroom. I worked with special needs for 15 years and I love it. Come on, twin. Yes, Sharon. Yes, 23 years here, hon, and counting. I went back, but I had to prove myself, not so much as prove myself to people, but I knew that I was capable and competent and I knew that I could do. I feel like teaching is something that's in you, right? There's no amount of degrees, there's no amount of schooling that you really can go through and endure to make you a qualified educator. Now, with that being said, I got degrees, right? I believe in education. It gets you in the front door, but who you are on the inside, right? It's either in you or on you. Who you are as a human being and where you are on your human journey is going to dictate what you bring into the classroom. And what I brought into the classroom was passion and understanding. And being a life coach, it allowed me to approach the education of these kids sensitively. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, but I'm a coach, right? So I was like, well, what if I utilize some of the skills that I utilize with my clients? So I started utilizing these skills, right? So it's just this whole thing. And if y'all need more information or want me to do any follow-up videos to this, because remember, I didn't even know I was going to be talking about this. I came on here because I never did a live on YouTube before, and I just was testing the algorithm to see if anybody can see me, and y'all showed up. So thank you. But, I just know that once a good teacher, always a good teacher. And also, I want to say this. I feel like all teachers should go through special education first. I feel like if more teachers went through special education first, it would give you a different outlook on how children learn. And it'll also allow you a little bit more freedom and flexibility in terms of how you chunk and teach lessons in small digestible pieces. Whereas when you're in a general education, you got the government and they trying to get funding, and they get like $13,000 per kids, and these district scores are used to compete out here in the world market. Trust and believe it is, especially in public education. So those scores, which are very meaningless to children, mean a lot when you're gambling with their future. So you want them to learn what you want them to learn, right? So being me and all that arrogant stuff I just said, although it's really not arrogant, it's just confidence and confidence. Like I knew what God had told me to do. He said, utilize those skills that you've been using for the past 22 years and working with kids in general ed and use it for the school year in special education. They ain't gonna like it. They probably gonna want to get rid of you. I have a Down syndrome brother and had to help bring up my siblings. That helped. Oh, wow. Absolutely. Like you don't never lose. Once you have a skill, especially if you worked with kids, you have just a stronger, listen, being a special educator, I'm 53 years old, just so y'all know, and I've been teaching for 23 years of that. I used to be in the corporate background. That was not for me. It wasn't good for my nervous system and none of the things. I'm a natural educator. And then when I think about it, I was a natural educator as a child. I was a natural coach as a child. I always coach my friends. I always pull out the best and see the best in people. Now, if I can just do more of that for myself, and I'm pretty good at taking care of me too, right? Don't worry about me. I'm doing good. Hey, Vincent, happy to see you over here. Sharon, I'm telling you, we twins, girl. You get me. You get me. That's my Gen X sister, Sharon. What's your last name? Sharon Ironman. I'm Sharon Dye from Detroit, Michigan. And Sharon is from the UK. So what's up, my sister? Isn't internet wonderful when we use it appropriately and how we get to make connections with people all over the world and get to know one another and build a community around these interactions? Or you can be very freaking toxic. And I try to stay away from that side of the social media. All right, so let's see. Let me get back to what I was saying. And so, first of all, y'all want to see where I'm at dicing the salad? So I'm making a chopped salad. So we have smoked turkey and ham. We have tomatoes. We have pepperoni. We have red onions, and we have jalapeno peppers. And then y'all already saw the plate in front of me, which is all the debris from all the stuff. I think I need to cut up some more meat. And that cut up another piece of turkey and another piece of ham. So bottom line is I put the kids in small groups. It was a whole process. I started, first of all, the first month of that school year teaching. It was all about classroom management. They were like, you need to be doing this and you need to be teaching this and you need to dive into this. How? They've been out of school almost 2 years. They don't know how to sit in a seat. They're talking back and forth with you. Kids are still coming to school with house shoes on because that's how they had been at home. Excuse me, y'all. That's how they had been at home for the past couple of years, right? With just slippers and bonnets and pajamas on. So they had gotten into these behaviors, and we had to set a precedent and set a standard. And we had to learn routines. They had to know that they could trust me. They had to learn their new teacher. They had to learn the routine of the room. And I'm like, if y'all just leave me alone, I promise y'all it's going to be worth it. Was I not the model teacher in the school? Did they not bring people to my classroom to see what a classroom needs? These are the same administrators who did everything that they can do to stop me, to block me, to try to get me removed because I wasn't doing what they say. This is why when you're a leader, you got to be a real leader, not just a degree holder. A real leader. You lead yourself first. And if you lead yourself, you will be able to take a step back from yourself and look at the big picture of what's going on. This lady is setting the foundation for the school year. Duh! Nevertheless, they fought me. And so that was month one. By the time we hit October, my class was running like a well-oiled machine. And, like lined up at the door, greeted each student upon arriving. If you needed a hug, you got a hug. If you need a high five, you got a high five. If you had some issues, I saw it in your eyes, and you knew that there was a time of the day where I was going to call you up to my desk, and you was going to be able to tell me all about it. We started every day off with journaling because kids come from backgrounds and households that they have no control or any power over. So they have to be able to talk before you try to jump into teaching them. They have to be able to talk how to manage their emotions and their feelings before we jump into this rigorous content that they can't understand because they were learning through a computer and everybody had masks over their face for 2 years of their life. And now we expect them to be on grade level. Not. So long story short, I taught what I knew to teach, the way I knew to teach it. Once I created a classroom environment, I knew that I had leaders. So because part of getting to know them is getting to know them. I had that problem too, Sharon, because I was different, because I had shaved pink hair and tattoos. The kids loved it. Girl, the kids adore it. The kids, I'm going to get to that because the kids love real people. I was something else. I'm snazzy. I'm jazzy. I'm quick-witted. And sometimes adults don't like that. But the kids used to be like, she's the truth. I never act different when the principal came in the room. I never act different when the superintendent walked the building. I never act different when I had to have a tough parent conversation. I was the same in that classroom that how I am on this live, that I was in those meetings and situations. So people either going to like you or love you when you like that. Kids loved it. Kids love authenticity. People got issues. Adults have issues. Kids don't have the issues. Why is from that onion? Hold on, y'all. Sorry. So long story short, I'm looking for my sanitizer. So long story short, small groups, created leaders held themselves and other students in their groups accountable, created what's called heterogeneous groups instead of homogeneous groups. Homogeneous groups is when you put all the same students with the same learning capacity in the same group. Therefore, all the A students right here, all the B students right here, all the C, D, whatever students together. No. That does not work. I created what's called heterogeneous groups, meaning we had my high learners, my mid-level learners, and my lower level learners. Because here's what happened. The lower level learners were automatically pulled up by the higher level learners, which were also leaders. Look at that, how that piece worked out. And they would pull them up. The mid-level learners really related to the lower level learners. So they would be trying to, we right here. That's not, they would be helping them self-correct, which helped the lower level, meaning scores and assessment, not low as in beneath, low as in scores, okay? Test scores and data and grades and A, B, C, D, all this shit to judge you and make you a nervous wreck. They learned accountability, and by being in close proximity to the higher level learners, it automatically pulled them up, right? And I was the facilitator. I was not standing at the chalkboard sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher. Womp, 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 womp. They didn't want to hear my voice all day, although my kids loved to hear from me because I was very colorful, and I would come in, not colorful literally, although yes, but colorful in spirit, like energetic, and, they knew I cared, and I made them laugh and all the things. So Exactly, Sharon. Sometimes when you're a little different, the other adults don't like you, but you end up being the most effective. If I had $1 for every time people tried to get the most effective teacher that all the kids loved out the building, I'd be very rich right now. That lets you know how screwed up society is as a whole. So this year I decided to shift my coaching program. Here's a long story short to end that conversation. Running my classroom like that, so systematic and so built on respect and a desire and a passion for learning, built on fun, built on caring, built on strong, rigorous academics, but they didn't realize it because of the way I packaged it, right? It was in the packaging, it's in the presentation, right? I didn't just shove it down their throat. Imagine serving a 6-month-old baby this. Just eat it. We know that babies would need this food. First of all, they wouldn't eat a plate of jalapenos and onions and tomatoes and peppers, but just imagine this was just a big old plate of adult-sized food. You wouldn't just start shoving this down the baby's throat, would you? You would? What's wrong with you? That's not nice. No, we break it down to digestible pieces. Well, I did the same thing with the lessons. And by breaking those lessons down to digestible pieces, y'all would be amazed, and you probably would cry if you had heard how many kids would be like, oh, I get it now, Miss Di. I didn't never understand what they was talking about. They wouldn't explain it like that. Like, literally, you cannot move on while you still got a soldier on the battlefield. You don't get stuck, but you can't move on. You say, hey, y'all, tally up over there and pick him up and bring him along with us. That's how I run my classroom. So when you run a classroom like that, you teach it to all the levels. You teach to the high level, the mid level, and you capture it. And you got several independent leaders who are helping you teach to the lowest level. And that's how you close the gaps. So when we took our standardized testing that year, at the beginning of the school year, they were like, it was a 5th grade classroom. They were testing that 1st grade, kindergarten, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, maybe a 4th grade here and there. But most of the kids, I want to say 100% of the class was behind to some capacity. After running the classroom like that, and I haven't even gotten to the academics. I'm not even going to get into the academics on this video of how I taught the academics. Y'all can almost tell how I taught based on the spirit that y'all see through this. It was fun. I read with expression. I made things funny. I connected to real life experiences that kids like, oh, I never thought about that, because most adults we just don't. I don't even want to criticize. I don't want to get into what's our issue, but woo, we got some issues, honey. So, and I made impact. When those kids took the test again in the spring, in the winter and the spring, I had closed the gap in the winter by 1 year. And April, at the end of the school year, I had closed the gap 2 to 3 years. 87% of my class, 30 kids. That's like saying 26 students out of my classroom, 25, 26 kids in my classroom grew 2 to 3 years. And all those people who was criticizing me, see, you was only able to do that because you only got 8 kids in your room. See, and special education teachers, y'all don't know what we go through. And I was able to not only debunk that myth, but also piss people off. Because now it's like, she gotta go. She gotta go. Why? Because by me doing what was right for the children, it made you look bad, and you couldn't be lazy, and you couldn't complain, and you couldn't use too focused on what your girlfriend did over the weekend, talking at the hallway door, opposed to trying to see what was going on with the little crying girl in the corner. Because I guarantee you, every time I focused on the little quiet crying girl in the corner, 3 more kids fell in love with me, because they knew that if they were the crying kid in the corner, she'd stop all this and focus on me. I will. I'll walk away from adult while they still talking to go see about a kid. And they're jealous of that because they didn't get it. They didn't understand it. Ooh, it's hot in here, y'all. Anyways, I'm going to get ready to end this live soon. Fun is what kids need to keep them focused and interested. Amen. But the adults sometimes act like they don't get it. I'm like, how do you not get that? How do you not get that? Anyways, I'm starting to sweat. Y'all see me sweating? It's hot in this kitchen. It's hot in this kitchen because the air is out that way in the house. Ooh, I need central air soon. Anywho, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm still working on my salad. Y'all saw the jalapenos, the red peppers, the pepperoni, the ham, the turkey, the tomatoes. I also have sweet pickles. Sweet pickles go in this. Oh, I got to get off of here. It's hot, baby. Banana ring peppers goes in this. Lettuce and spinach and pepper jack cheese. and then you shred everything up, and it's very cool and it's very refreshing. Oh, okay, Sharon. Speak to you soon, twin. Okay, Sharon. See you later, twin. I hope that next time I go live. Woo, child. Okay, I told you I'm 53. We have hot flashes in this age. Tell them, Sharon. Woo, when I go live again, we'll talk more about the story. But thank y'all so much. It was so nice to have you guys here with me. I appreciate you. See you later, Sharon and Vincent. I will talk to you guys soon. I'm ending the stream now because I got to go get on this some air. It's hot. Woo.